and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Rachel Amma, and this week I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I'm making for my Christmas dinner this year as a vegan. So I wanted to make something that was really plant-based, using lots and lots of vegetables. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys. It's not too complicated, it's quite simple. As the feature piece, we're going to have this roasted butternut butternut squash with 4 different layers, different textures, different flavors, Christmas flavors, and it's just going to be divine next to those roast potatoes and Brussels and carrots and gravy and just a drizzle of mint. It's very delicious, very simple, and I really hope you guys like it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for the Christmas recipe today in time for Christmas. And subscribe to my channel because I'm here every week with new videos to share with you guys. So let's get into the Christmas dinner. So I'm going to start off by cutting my butternut squash in half, tearing it apart. Then I've got 2 parts. Then I'm going to scoop out the seeds, and you can save the seeds, you can roast them, you can toast them, you can add them to salads. So I'm just going to get this roasting tray because we're going to start roasting our butternut squash. I'm just going to dab some olive oil on the inside and the outside of the butternut squash, followed by some salt and some black pepper. So we're going to leave the butternut squash halves upside down. We've seasoned it with salt and pepper, and we're going to put it in the oven for about 50 minutes so it can roast. So we're going to make a cranberry sauce, which is going to go in the roasted butternut squash. Now, I would normally use fresh cranberries, but I couldn't find any today. So we're going to use dried cranberries, which is fine. We're going to infuse them, make them really tasty, and they're just going to sit in the butternut squash amazingly. I'm just going to spread out my cranberries and roughly chop them just to make them into smaller pieces. Then I'm going to heat a pot, add in all my cranberries. To create the sauce, I'm adding in some water as well as some unsweetened apple sauce, apple puree. Gonna mix it all together, and then for my spices, I'm adding in some allspice, some ginger, and some cinnamon, and these will give it that Christmassy feel. Sprinkling in a pinch of salt. So I'm gonna really mix this together, and you can smell the wonderful Christmas flavors. And finally, some orange zest. And this is just so Christmassy. So I'm gonna pop the lid on and let that cook for about 20 minutes. And that is layer 1. Now on to layer 2. So I'm gonna finally chop up some celery, and I'm also gonna cut up some carrots and onions into really small pieces. The smaller, the better. Then to a pan, I'm just gonna saute these in some extra virgin olive oil. You could saute in water if you prefer, completely up to you. Because we're using butternut squash, it goes really well with sage. So I'm going to tear apart some fresh sage as well as add some thyme and just mix it in to the carrots and the onions and the celery. A sprinkling of salt and black pepper. And you just want to let this sit and cook down. Meanwhile, I'm going to roughly chop up some shiitake mushrooms to really small pieces, and then I'm going to mix it all together. So now you just want to let the mushrooms cook down and all the ingredients to infuse together. To turn it into a gravy, I've got some vegetable stock, and I'm going to mix that with some hot water. Pour it straight into the carrots and the mushrooms once they have cooked down. For added seasoning, I'm adding in some Vegemite as well as some miso paste, and this will add some more depth to the mixture. For some protein, I'm adding in some cooked lentils, and we just want to let that sit and infuse together and turn into a really nice mushroom stew. Now to thicken it up, I've got some cornstarch with double the amount of water. And I'm just gonna mix that together till it's nice and smooth, and then add it straight to the lentils. And that will help just thicken it all together. And that is layer 2. Now to layer 3, which is gonna be kind of like a stuffing. So I'm gonna finally slice some red onions and get lots of garlic in there too. Add this to a pan and start to saute them, adding some dried parsley, some thyme, and really just want those red onions to start to caramelize together. Then I'm going in with some fresh garlic, lots and lots of garlic, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of black pepper. Some ready to go cooked chestnuts. And I'm just gonna mix that in. Finally, I'm adding in breadcrumbs, and these are infused with thyme and lemon and salt and pepper. So there's lots and lots of flavor. And I'm gonna break apart the mushroom slightly, and then I'm gonna add this all to a baking tray because I'm gonna roast it so that I can get it nice and crispy and crunchy. So you pop that in the oven for only about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it, you don't want it to burn. Now that we've got all the layers, it's time to build our butternut squash masterpiece. So when you bring it out the oven, it's really caramelized up. It's really hot, delicious, sweet, and just so nice. So we're gonna scoop out some of the insides, mix it with the breadcrumbs, and that will be a layer underneath. So it'll be kind of crunchy and delicious. Then we're gonna add in the layer of cranberries, which is so delicious. Then onto the other butternut squash, I'm just gonna scoop out the middle, and I'm gonna add the lentil layer. For some extra greens, I decided to add in some spinach, and then you just want to pop one on top of the other, and then I've got some string just to hold it together when you slice it up. So now it's time to make the trimming. So I'm going to start off with some potatoes. So I'm just going to peel these, get the skins off, and slice them into any desired type of size that you'd like for your roast potatoes. Once they are chopped up and ready to go, you just want to give them a quick rinse under the tap. Then add them to a pot and fill it with cold water. So I'm putting this on a stove, and I'm going to cook this for about 7 minutes just so the outside layers soften up so I can get different dimensions on the potatoes. I'm just going to preheat some olive oil with some thyme in the oven. Then I'm going to drain the potatoes once they have slightly cooked for about 7 minutes. Pop a lid on top once the water's out, and just shake them about so that you can get all those different dimensions where the oil's going to stick to and give you all those different crispy layers that what I love about roast potatoes, that kind of crispy crunch. So now I'm just going to add these to the hot oil and the thyme, add some salt, add some black pepper, and mix it in. And as you can hear, the oil's starting to cook the outside already, and it's going to crisp up in the oven beautifully. So once they are mixed, I'm just going to throw them in the oven until they cook. And now we're going to do some glazed carrots. So I'm going to give them a really good wash, clean them up, get them ready for cooking. And to season them, I'm going to use some maple syrup, some olive oil, a bit of balsamic vinegar, a bunch of thyme, and then finally I'm going in with some fresh orange. So Christmassy, and it's just going to caramelize up our carrots. So I'm just going to add them to a baking tray, and I'm literally just going to wipe on the maple olive oil dressing, only about half of it, add some salt, add some black pepper, and cook these for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, bring them back out the oven, and then we're going to add another layer of the olive oil maple syrup mixture, just so we can get that proper crispy caramelization on the top. And then they go in for another 20 minutes. So for the gravy, we're going to use the vegetable stock that I made in a previous video, which I will link down below. And all we're going to do is defrost it. I froze it because I made it in batch. So I've got some more cornstarch to double the amount of water, and I'm going to whip that up. And then I'm going to add it straight to the vegetable stock, and this is going to be our gravy. It's so flavorful. The cornstarch is just going to slightly thicken it up and turn it into more of a gravy. It's so perfect for Christmas. I can't do Christmas without Brussels sprouts. I used to hate them, now I love them. So I'm just gonna wash the outside layers, cut them in half because we wanna get them nice and crispy and crunchy. So I'm gonna put them in a bowl, add some salt, add some black pepper, a pinch of olive oil, and I'm also going in with some garlic granules for some extra flavor, and mix that all together to combine. Get them really covered, add them to a baking tray, and then you just wanna turn them upside down, and this will turn the bottom part slightly caramelized once you put them in the oven. And then the last thing we're making today is a little bit of a mint sauce. So I'm just gonna really finely chop up some mint, add it to a bowl. You don't have to have lamb to enjoy mint. You can just enjoy mint because it tastes amazing. So I'm gonna add some hot water to the mint, as well as some balsamic vinegar. And for salt and pepper, and for sweetness, I just added a pinch of maple syrup. And you just adjust to your taste preference, and the hot water is just going to kind of slightly wilt the mint for serving. So the potatoes are ready. It's time to carve up our roast butternut squash. We've got our caramelized carrots, drizzle on the gravy, and then that is Christmas dinner. I never know how to make it look presentable, but the flavors, the taste, the mint, adding the mintness, there was so much to enjoy. I can't wait to make this for my family at Christmas. So tasty, so Christmassy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas feels and the Christmas dinner that we have made today. Even if you just use it as inspiration to create your own amazing Christmas dinner, I really hope that this helps in some way. I did eat it, but the camera died. Here's evidence of the demolished plate. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the recipes, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I am here every week with new videos to share with you guys. Any questions you have, leave them in the comments for me, and hit me up on Instagram if you make anything similar. If you recommend your own kind of vegan Christmas dinners, go crazy, shout me out, let me know. I love hearing from you guys and I love seeing what you guys are also making, so let me know, and I will see you all here next week. Bye. What's your Christmas song? Like, what's your, I mean, me is Destiny's Child, 8 Days of Christmas, but it's not really like classic. It's kind of like early 2000s classic. So,